Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This is part 3 and this is the last part of a series of 3 videos that I made on, I think, and unfortunately about Douglas Murray, who he showed, I think, so much lack of intellectual analysis in the debate with this guy that I don't like actually, cked, but nevertheless he was better. Much better than Douglas Murray. I made my points in the video number 1 and then video number 2 where I talked about Douglas Murray, where I said that I like him and so on, but now something changed here. So go and watch video number 1, you're going to have video number 2 as well uploaded, and it's going to be video number 3 at the end of it. So cked with Douglas Murray have a little debate at Piers Morgan, Weasel's little whatever he's got over there, and they talk about Israel. And Douglas Murray, unfortunately, behaves the way I've never seen him behaving, illogical and with a lot of ad hominem attacks at, if you can believe, at cked, which usually he's the one who attacks and smears people and does that, or attacks them personally, which I disagree with that, but I can also, I disagree. I don't like it, but if it's necessary, do it by all means. And I've never heard Douglas Murray, so I never heard. You just watch the other videos. I made my point, and I'm not going to go into those things. I'm going to go straight to the video coming from right here, this interview between this, debate coming from these two. And here is, I'm going to play cked when he's going to answer Douglas Murray's accusations, and I say very illogical supporting evidence for his statement are bad. He just says that I'm not going to try this, I'm not going to believe that because this and that. They were talking about the victims in the Israeli-Palestinian situation in Gaza, and basically what cked says, it's true. Douglas Murray, through his answer, he avoided talking about 8,000 children killed over there. At least that's what cked will state. So here is the exchange, one of them.
Yeah, so you asked if he cared about 8,000 dead babies, and his answer was no. Queen Rania bothers me, so complete non-answer, because he doesn't care. He doesn't think the Palestinians' lives are worth anything. He just called them all terrorists.
Well, it's nice you can put that word,
and this is what they always do.
Well, sorry, Douglas, but that's the exact point that I heard you say. You said you switched it from the 8,000 to switch it to the 36 awful Israeli kids that were killed by Hamas. So you didn't even bother, and look at his body language. That tells you a lot if you know anything about body language. I'm talking about Douglas Murray, the whole interview, watch it.
There you go.
So hold on, I let you talk for a long time, so why don't you shut up for a second?
Correct. He was correct. If you can believe the intellectual Murray that I used to like, interrupted cked more than cked. Is that possible? Yep. It is possible. And Douglas attacked cked ad hominem first for about 3 times until cked attacked him. And in this video, I'm going to show you how Douglas will continue to attack cked and people that disagree with Douglas's opinions or statements.
So we've got all these dead babies.
You're such a courteous man as well. Douglas, you attacked him first. You are very uncourteous. And now you're so a courteous man. You started first like 3 times before he punched you back. So how about, keep your mouth shut and let the guy end his statement. Anyway, it's unbelievable, man.
We've got all of these dead babies that this monster doesn't care about. He says keep bombing them. A former intelligence officer.
So that's the first one. We're gonna jump to the next one. It's 1850 here. So let's see if I get that one and see what is going on here. It's 1850. So let's go and see.
And I mentioned that I cover wars and go to wars because I happen to think myself that it's worth seeing things with you.
Douglas Murray makes an argument that if he went places, he knows what's going on over there. Yes and no. I don't have to go to the moon necessarily to know what's going on the moon. I can read, people like you went to the moon, correct? So if you went to the moon, you can say, well, I went, well, a doctor. I didn't have cancer. Unless I have cancer, I can't speak about cancer. You know what I mean? The thing with the moon was a different point, which is only when you do it, you know. I mean, how many things we don't do, but we learn about? You need to build the house in order to know what the house is and how it is. The same. I go to places, you don't go anywhere. This was Douglas's fantastic comeback. Disappointing intellectually.
Including things that you don't particularly like, but you report the truth. I don't know if you ever even leave your own bedroom. And I can tell already that you don't, because you've...
He can tell.
Said something that demonstrates you know nothing about this conflict.
You know nothing. Now, this is not how an intellectual speaks. You know nothing about this conflict. Nothing? Well, I know it's between some country in the Middle East and an enclave that was called Gaza. I already know something. Again, this is not how an intellectual speaks. You know nothing about. But you do, because you travel. That's a poor reasoning.
Demonstrated it in the following terms. You said that this is why we need to push for a two-state solution.
He's going to talk about two-state solutions, and who is Douglas going to blame?
And give legitimacy to the Palestinian Authority. I'll tell you something you don't know, because I guess you spent no time in the West Bank, have you?
If you didn't go, if you don't go to Paris, you don't know anything about France. So you go to Paris, you know everything about France. You don't go to Paris, but you read about France, and you don't know anything. So you know if you go, but don't read anything, but you don't know if you read, but you don't go. Again, is this logical, Douglas? No. Sorry.
Something you probably don't know. The Palestinian Authority, Fatah, celebrated the 7th of October massacres. I'll give you another fact which demonstrates you know nothing about this and clearly haven't ever visited any Palestinians in the West Bank as I have. I'm virtually better. I mean, I have, virtual signaling right here. I'm going to do this for you. So go to the next one, which is at 19. Let's go that one. And here is the next one. So your idea of a two-state solution, I'm afraid you are so out of date and you really should leave your bedroom. Because in this region, nobody thinks that there is a two-state solution on the table because there is not a viable negotiating partner. But
Nobody thinks. Did you hear him? Again, nobody and all. This is how a certain kind of group in our society thinks like, used to. Anyway, and he's going to keep going. So nobody thinks it's a viable solution because there's no viable negotiator. Like what? The country that is in violation of UN Security Council's resolutions? Is it? Is that Hamas? Oh my God.
Make one other main point. You have gone on and on tonight, throwing accusations out against the Jewish state, against me.
No, you attacked him, Douglas, first 3 times before he hit you back. And he didn't smear anyone, he just pointed out certain things. I don't defend that guy, but if Murray got a FF for fucking failure, the guy got, I don't know, from 0 to 10 got a 6. And that's a high grade for Cenk, given by me.
Thing you do, I know you're a sort of online pugilist and think you can run for office and
again insults.
Good luck with that. But I'd just like to point out that you only really get animated if the Jews are involved. And I can tell that for the following reason. I mean, your surname's Uyghur, isn't it?
Are we going to get to anti-Semitism accusations, you think?
Uyghur Muslims in China have been put in concentration camps in the last decade.
So he makes the point, Douglas, that without knowing anything about the other guy, or not anything, but why, you're going to hear, that you don't care about anybody else, but you care only when it's about the Jews. That's his point. And Cenk says, what are you talking about? You don't know anything what I do. We cover that. Oh, the guy's in, it's just going to make the point. But again, attacks without even, I think he's out of loop. I don't know what's going on with with Douglas on this one, honestly.
And people, people of your ilk
Your ilk.
Care about that, do you? Because it's not the Jews doing it, it's the Chinese Communist Party. At the moment, 1 million people who are in Pakistan at the moment, who are your fellow Muslims and who happen to be Afghan, and I don't think you care about them, do you? 1 million Afghans are currently being forcibly deported from Pakistan to Afghanistan. You don't care about that. You're not riled up about that. You're not riled up about what the Janjaweed are currently doing in Sudan, where thousands and thousands of people are being attacked by the Islamist militia there. You don't care about any of that. You get exercised and you rile up what little base you have of malcontents because you're riled up when the Jews do anything.
All right,
it's
Cenk.
perfectly obvious.
Okay, Cenk, your response.
Perfectly obvious.
Okay, first of all, my last name is Uyghur. We're named after the Uyghur Turks in China. And have we talked about that on the Young Turks?
Spoken up then.
Yes. Yes, we've talked about it endlessly, but you don't know that, and you don't watch the show.
Shame
you just
nobody
make
watches
things
your
up.
show.
So,
Nobody does watch your show.
Yeah, well, okay, again, you're interrupting me when I was kind enough to let you do.
Correct. Cenk is correct. He didn't interrupt this guy. This guy interrupts him all the time.
On with your mad ramblings. So, how nobody watches the show, we have 5 billion views a year. I don't know what piddling outfit you're on, or what little Substack or whatever the hell you write on. So the reason we're incredibly popular is we fight for all. We fight for shot.
Yeah, my friends, this is the level I don't expect from Cenk. The problem is Douglas fell real bad, I think, for me. And I have one more segment for about a minute. Well, I changed my mind. I'm going to show you poor behavior from Douglas. Not very intellectual. And look, when Cenk is making his argument, as bad or good as he makes it, look at that guy, like a giggling girl, teenage girl. That's how he behaves. I don't know. He reached his point. He's going down back to childhood. I'm not sure yet. Let's look at this one.
So the reason we're incredibly popular is we fight for all.
Newspapers.
We fight for shut up. We fight for all innocent civilians. So yes, we've covered all of those conflicts. Yes, I'm against fundamentalist Islam, no question about it. I'm against fundamentalist religions of all kind. In terms of every right-wing supporter of Israel, their only tactic is, hey, don't look at the 8,000 murdered children. Don't look at the 6,400 murdered women. Don't look at the fact that all the hospitals in northern Gaza have been shut down. Don't look at the fact that 4 out of 5...
When he says Hamas figures, I'm supposed to believe Israel's figures? Am I supposed to believe Israel's figures? Why? Well, you know why. If you don't, then you're anti, right? Let's go to, 2056. Let's see if we get to that one. I think that's the last on the menu, right? 2056, is it what it is? And he's gonna make the point eventually with, if you don't agree with us, this is what we call you.
Am I anti-Semite? Now, wait a minute. I just told you how much I want peace and security for Israel. How much
no, you didn't. But you said this riles you up. Only when it's about the Jews, it riles you up. Nothing else. Only when it's about the Jews. What does that mean? You have some bias, and bias here is called regarding that issue. What? Douglas, don't play dumb. And he's playing dumb. You never called you that. Well, you're not very smart. That means what? You're dumb. I never called you dumb.
What happened on October 7th. What you don't know is I started the Young Turks with 2 Jewish friends. And so the whole program is both Jews and Muslims. You know nothing. You know nothing. I have Jewish family and friends. Why in the world, God, as they go to Israel, I want them to be safe, okay? So I have shown empathy for all civilians throughout everything I have ever done. But all you have is hatred. Oh, he's an anti-Semite. Kill the Muslims. Kill the Palestinians.
All right, my friends. You can go and watch it on your own. Is 22 minutes and 30 seconds. I watched Douglas Murray after Norman Finkelstein, and I was disappointed because in the first sentence Douglas Murray call Dr. Finkelstein a sociopath. But if someone would call Douglas Murray something else, he would not like that one. Even if it's real, he would not like that, because, you know, this is what you do. You expect other people to be tolerant with your things, but you step on their values or on their worldview, and if they're not tolerant, you're not tolerant at all to accept theirs. You expect them to be tolerant with you, but you're very intolerant if with their expectations or their requirements, requests, however you want to call it, or demands. But this is what it is. We have an expression in Romania. It's called "Dacă dai nas la Ivan, ți se urcă pe divan." So that is, if you give a little bit, like you give a finger, he's going to take the whole hand, kind of like the whole hand. It's kind of like this. If you give Douglas Murray's thing, yeah, we're this, we're that, then if you don't celebrate that, then you're called this phobic and that phobic. You know exactly what I'm talking about. By the way, because I know they like it to identify and immediately say what they are, Douglas Murray is a homosexual, which is fine with me. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.